I don't think any of us could. Well, actually, there were a lot of Man United fans predicting that we would get an absolute hammering today. You know, I was saying I can't see it happening in terms of, yes, I know that we've been poor, but surely these players will put out a performance. Something that we don't always want to say when Ollie speaks about passion and desire and energy. That's exactly what you do need, though, in this type of game.
Of course you do.
Didn't have any of it.
Nothing.
Absolutely ruined. What now?
I think there's only got to be one thing right now. He's got to go. I don't want to say it. I love Ollie. I think all the fans love Ollie. But it comes to a point where do you put up with it any longer? You look at last season, for instance, in the top 6, he had a great record, and that's what I think kept him going, because we played counter-attacking football against the big teams because they know they're going to attack us. We're going to somehow rely on our defence and get them on the counter, and it worked so well. But look in the small teams. I don't even want to call them small teams anymore, because we competed against them badly last season, and this year they're playing better than us. Every game this season, they play better than us, except from the Leeds game first, but they play in our way. You know what I mean? We expecting them to pressure us, and then we'll get them on the counter, and it worked. But every other game, every team has played better than us this season. That says everything. I love Ollie, he's a legend, but he's dividing the fans now. And I love him, and we all do love him, but it comes to a point where you're like, enough is enough. You look at Chelsea, for instance, Lampard's their biggest ever legend. However, they sacked him, and look how well they did. No one expected them to do that well. No one expected them to go on the Champions League, and they're top of the league this year. So it comes to a point where we're like, let's get rid of the manager. We've got the players to at least challenge anyone. 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 We get to a point where we're like, we've had Mourinho. Look how he won trophies for our season. Van Gaal, it was boring football, but he won trophies. Do we go to a point of, we've got to have a plan, but do we get to a point of playing great football under Ollie? It's not. It's attack. We hope we can defend. Or do we go from, all right, let's defend and build something from this? And we've got nothing. We've got nothing now. We've had Varane and Maguire for most of this season, and we're still not keeping clean sheets. We can't keep clean sheets. So if you look at our squad, I believe without a manager, we are one player away from winning something. A CDM, and we should win the league. Look at City, they wanted a striker. Without a striker, they're still peppering. Chelsea, I don't even believe Chelsea are the best squad, but they're still peppering, but we're not. So it has to come down to the manager, and unfortunately, as much as I love Ollie, he's got to go. He's got to go.
Onto the players, because I hear what you're saying there.
Yeah.
How much of that performance was on the players? Did they give a good account of themselves? Individual errors, late to tackles, not pressing. I'm not letting Ollie off the hook. I'm just talking about the other side, about the criticism of the players.
The players have to take some responsibility.
And not just today, I mean in general, because we're in bad form.
I've come to most games this season. I travelled 4.5 hours to get here today. And for the Villarreal game in the Champions League, the whole game we were playing bad football. We wasn't pressing, but the players, it relies to individual brilliance. That's what we've come to down this season, is we're relying on players to do well for us. But it shouldn't be like we should have a system that wants to attack. There's parts in the game where the players don't know whether to press.
They're scared. They go into a shell. Yeah.
They're scared to know what to do. Whether should I press or should I stay in shape? It shouldn't be that. We should have a manager who knows what to do. Ollie's relying on players to be expressive, which fair enough may be in the attack, but when it's defensive, they should be disciplined. They should know what to do. We have the squad to think what we should do, but it's not happening. And the players today, they're getting frustrated by it. Look at Pogba, for instance. A few games ago, when we lost against Leicester, he said in the interview, tactically, and I think we don't...
He actually said that we don't know.
He said it. And look what happens. He gets drops because he's talking facts. He's talking facts. And since then, he's got drops. And today, he got frustrated. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
And it come from Bruno giving him a short pass as well. We even had to stretch.
So it's coming down to, yes, we are making mistakes, but this shouldn't happen. It should come down to being in a great formation, being organised and knowing what to do, and we don't. So players are getting frustrated. Fair enough, the players should take some blame, but it comes down to the way we're set up. Personally.
Going forward, what changes would you make? Because I think we can all agree, not that everyone agrees that that's the right decision, but we can all agree that Solskjaer's still going to be the manager. They've backed him to the cows come home. You know, they're leaking to the press saying his job is safe. Yes, results do affect that, and if we keep going, something's going to have to get done. But I always said, even if he lost against Atalanta and Liverpool in the same week, I still don't think he would have got sacked.
Of course not.
So Spurs next, away from home. Spurs aren't great, but
They're not.
like you said, we're in no position to be looking at any calibre of team. City after that, then Atalanta away. How does he?
No.
That's the reality of the run.
Exactly. I want to hit myself on this wall constantly because we've had easy fixtures and we're on the same points of Arsenal. We're on the same points of Arsenal. It says it all because we've got the hardest fixtures coming up and we're still in the same position we are in. And the worst part about it is that I love Man United. I always will. I've travelled 4.5 hours here because I love the club and I always will. But it's turning the fans against each other. Straight after the game, we got people fighting each other. Why should that happen? We all should be supporting the team we do and supporting all the boys, but it's turning against each other and it shouldn't happen. I think now OLE should resign. If he doesn't resign, we won't get rid of him. We won't get rid of him until things get drastically bad. And today, I think he has to go. But if he doesn't, we won't get rid of him. Look at the way Chelsea have done things. They got rid of their biggest legend and they've transformed. So we should look at that and carry on. If we don't, then I think the players have come to a point where they've got to say something for the benefit of us as fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see it going on.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.